guys, Colin here. One thing I hear from a lot of guitarists is that their guitar leads just don't last. Personally, I've been using the same guitar leads since I started playing guitar and I've never really had any problems. What I find usually is that the problems with guitar leads come from misuse or maltreatment. For example, how many of you have pulled a guitar cable out your amp like this?
Oh man, that was a pure deadly show.
Don't fucking do that! Not only does it risk damaging your cables by putting excess strain right here where that's liable to break, but it also risks damaging the input of your amp, and that is a far more serious problem. The same goes for if you're pulling a guitar cable out of the guitar itself. You'll risk damaging the cable and risk damaging your guitar. Take good care of these things, wrap them up neatly, don't pull them by the cable. Be careful with them and they will last. But guitar cables are expensive, so what can you do if yours is playing up? In most cases you've just got a broken connection within the plug, or you've actually damaged the plug itself, and these things are easy and cheap to fix, much cheaper than buying a whole set of new cables. So I'll show you how to do that right now. I've got a guitar lead here to fix. This one was a result of dropping the guitar while it was plugged in, so it's landed in the jack and bent it completely out of place. This end's fine. If we screw back the sheath on here to reveal the cables being connected, we can see actually that the connections are still solid. It's merely the jack, but it's beyond repair, quite frankly. I have a whole bunch of these replacement jack plugs here. Some pretty rubbishy plastic sheaths on them, but it's the same inside as this, so it should be a direct replacement. I'll desolder the connections here. I like to desolder things so that I don't have to strip things back. If it doesn't desolder correctly or need more length, I'll have to strip it back, and then I'll put this new one on. Now that we've got the jack plug off, we can see there's two wires inside this cable. First one here has its own insulation. It's in the centre, so it's easy to find. That will go to the tip. That's the one that carries the signal for the guitar. So it will attach to the tip of a jack plug, which is the small terminal up there. And the other one here is the shielding, the ground wire that surrounds the core. And it doesn't have its own insulation, it's just braided copper coil that's round about. So that will attach to basically the shaft here, and that's the long terminal on the jack plug. So it's solder those on, get the tags to sort of clamp around the main insulation on the cable as much as possible, and then screw it back into its sheath. The wires are connected back to their original places, and I've got a clear plastic tubing here which will serve to isolate it from anything going on. So it's just this black sheath back over here, and it should just screw back into place. Huzzah! So yeah, there we go. Not bad. So we can plug this in and check it works. So I've got the cable here, it's plugged into the amp, and I'll just plug it into the guitar, switch the amp on, and we have the moment of truth whether this cable works or not. Well, that seems to be good, so that cable's alive and kicking again. So what we learned here. Guitar cables are not difficult to fix. In fact, they're very, very simple. In the simplest case, it'll just be a broken connection within one of these plugs. You can just go in there with a soldering iron and put it back to where it should be. If it's a bit more complex, then maybe you've got a plug to replace. These 1/4" jack plugs come in a couple of quid out of electronic stores like Maplin, and there's usually a selection of different types, different styles, metal bodies, plastic bodies, gold tips, whatever, you know. So you can choose what you want, however much you want to spend. So even replacing the plug isn't hard. But it doesn't have to get to this stage at all if we just take care of our cables and don't pull them out of the amps by the cable themselves. Be careful, take them by the plastic, take them care of them, don't drop them, don't stand on them, don't throw them around. Wrap them up nicely, put them back in your guitar bag. Just take care of these cables and they will last you and they won't cause you problems. And the last thing you need playing live is a cable to go faulty halfway through and you've got to try and search for what that issue is. So let's take care of our cables, guys.